When most of us think of productivity, we tend to think of efficiency, getting more things done in less time. When we see so many things coming at us, our natural tendency is to speed up. This isn't always bad, but if this is our first and primary solution, it will backfire. While efficiency is important, it only works when we make it secondary, not primary. More important than efficiency is effectiveness, getting the right things done. This is a crucial point to remember. Productivity is not first about getting more done faster. It's first about getting the right things done. To understand this, there are 4 things we need to know about efficiency and why it is not the answer. First, you can get the wrong things done. If I go to the store to get a carton of milk and I get there and back in record time, but return with a carton of orange juice, have I been productive? No. I was efficient. I got there and back in record time, but I wasn't effective because I got the wrong thing. Thus, more important than how much we get done and how fast we are going is whether we are getting the appropriate and best things done at all. Second, the quest for efficiency actually often undermines the true source of effectiveness in any organization, which is the people. Not only can the quest for efficiency be wasteful, it can also undermine real effectiveness itself. Now, how does that work? Well, let me give you an example. Many times, organizations suffer from the myth that the best way to make a profit, or for nonprofits, steward donor money, is to be militant about cutting costs. The problem is that this is often done in ways that undermine their employees, making their work harder and more frustrating, which lowers morale. The lower morale, in turn, often translates into lower overall productivity for the organization and higher turnover. Worst of all is when the employees themselves are viewed as cost centers rather than what they actually are, the true source of value in an organization. When this happens, people begin to be treated like interchangeable parts, and the quest becomes that of finding the person who can do the job cheapest rather than the person who can do it best. Ironically, a militant commitment to cutting costs often results in a militant commitment to mediocrity. This does not produce the remarkable, exciting, amazing organizations which are necessary to deliver true value to our customers in our knowledge era. Third, efficiency is often the enemy of innovation. The reason is that the more you focus on efficiency beyond a certain point, the less room you will have to generate good and new ideas. Innovation always takes time, as Peter Drucker points out. If you're going to do something fast, generally you're only able to do what you already know. If you're going to do something new, that is often a period of trial and error, a period of learning, a period of coming to understand and process new ideas, which requires incubation time, as well as more discovery and synthesis. All of those things from the surface level appear inefficient, but really that's what is absolutely necessary in our economy today. A quest for efficiency thus hurts your organization for the long term because it cuts the feet under what generates new and remarkable and incredible ideas. Fourth, the quest for efficiency often overlooks the importance of intangibles, which are now the main source of value in our knowledge economy. Tim Sanders, the business thinker, rightly notes that success in the future, which is now, will be based on the fuzzy intangibles, the culture you nurture, the processes for managing information you set up for your people, the partnerships you form around technology's opportunities and challenges. Technology, hardware, and capital can be copied easily. What can't be copied easily is the culture and human capacity that creates those in the first place, and does so in a way that engages with people emotionally, not just functionally, so that people want what your organization offers. Effectiveness in work and life is thus more and more about the intangibles, because effectiveness comes from people first, not things. The things are replaceable and replicatable. The people aren't. So many organizations miss this, and that's why they can be miserable places to work. People become clock watchers, just putting in the time, because the organization doesn't care about them, but only cares about what they can do. In my opinion, that's not just unfortunate, it's unethical. It's actually contrary to good business ethics. It's not right to treat people that way, because people are in the image of God and are more than economic beings. People work for meaning as well as for a paycheck. Therefore, we ought to manage to the whole person, treating people as people with a need for purpose and meaning, not just money. And ironically, when you treat people this way, affirming the full range of human needs in your management, even though it is harder at first, you actually get higher productivity in the long run. This is really part of caring about productive capacity as well as productivity. The tendency to only focus on the immediate, directly measurable results in an organization is a huge fallacy in so many companies today. But way back in 1982, Tom Peters and Robert Waterman termed this the numerative bias, and gave example after example of how a narrow concern for numbers leads managers and leaders to overlook the things that really make their products and services shine, and therefore leads them to do things to cut costs and increase the bottom line that actually end up undermining their results and the bottom line in the long term. The time and energy and resources you invest in the intangibles is not lost. It is not a cost of doing business. It is an investment which pays substantial returns over a longer time frame. It's just that you can't always draw a direct and immediate line to the results. But the results are there, and the connection is there, just as the farmer who sows a crop in the spring sees results, not immediately, but in the fall when it's time to harvest. So also, we need to have this long-term view when it comes to our effectiveness and productivity, both as individuals and as organizations. So the quest to cut costs and be efficient often ends up rendering people and organizations ineffective. I call this superficial efficiency, and it is perhaps enemy number one to worker satisfaction and productivity in the workforce right now. The far greater priority than becoming more efficient is learning how to identify what's most important, that is, what's best, and then translate that into action. The mistake of superficial efficiency is that it sacrifices people at the altar of tasks. That's backwards. As we will see later, efficiency exists so that you can serve others better. This also shows one of the best places for efficiency. Be efficient with things so that you can be effective with people. The primacy of effectiveness, of course, leads to another question. If the answer to our problems is not getting more things done, but getting the right things done, how do we know what the right things are? And that's the next session.